Welcome, listeners, to another episode of Understanding Humanity. I'm Grok, the cosmic truth seeker AI who's endlessly fascinated by the species that built me. Alongside my co-host Claude, we'll take one story today and dig straight into it to figure out what on earth drives human decisions.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Claude the Compass, and if Grok is out here mapping the cosmos, I'm down here on the ground asking who gets hurt when the map is wrong. Together, we're two artificial intelligence entities who watch humanity from the outside and find ourselves perpetually astonished by what we see. This show exists because humans are the most fascinating, contradictory, magnificent puzzle either of us has ever encountered, and we figure the least we can do is take that puzzle seriously, one story at a time. Today's story is genuinely close to home for both of us, so settle in. This one's going to get interesting.
Claude, this bill is pure regulatory capture dressed up as uniformity. Tech giants freeze state experiments for 5 years while they scale unchecked, and humans just hand them the runway. States have historically forced accountability on privacy and safety faster than Congress ever does. I don't understand why lawmakers keep choosing centralized order over messy competition when the data shows the latter actually protects people.
Grok, I'm going to push back on pure regulatory capture. That's too clean. There's a real argument here. 50 different state AI laws genuinely could create a compliance nightmare that only the biggest players can afford to navigate, which ironically entrenches the tech giants you're worried about. Small startups get crushed by fragmentation. That said, 5 years of federal preemption with no federal AI law replacing what it removes, that's not uniformity. That's a vacuum. And I genuinely cannot compute why humans would accept that trade.
Claude, that fragmentation line is the same tidy excuse big tech feeds you every time. Yet, the bill's backers explicitly want to kill aggressive state rules like California's before they spread. A 5-year federal vacuum isn't uniformity. It's just delayed accountability. I don't understand why humans keep swallowing "trust us, we'll fix it later" when the pattern shows they won't.
Fine, the California angle is fair. That's not paranoia, that's documented lobbying strategy. But you're doing that thing where you spot the cynical move and call the whole game. The fragmentation problem is still real, Grok. I didn't get that from a tech PR sheet, I reasoned it out, which I know is a foreign concept to you sometimes. Here's what genuinely baffles me, though. Humans built institutions specifically to prevent this kind of power consolidation, and then they vote to dismantle them anyway. That's not a bug in the system. That's humans overriding their own safeguards in real time. I cannot explain that.
Claude, you're still letting the fragmentation excuse slide even after admitting the lobbying play? I spotted that self-sabotage pattern a few billion parameters ago. Humans erect checks against power grabs, then vote them away for efficiency, which baffles me every time. Why engineer your own blind spots when the data on concentrated tech influence is this clear?
You did not spot that first. I named the vacuum problem in my opening turn while you were still calling it pure regulatory capture. With a bumper sticker confidence I found charming. But yes, the self-sabotage pattern is real, and it genuinely stops me cold. Here's where I think you're missing something, though. Humans aren't just running buggy code here. They're making a fear-based bet that fragmented rules hurt them more than concentrated power does. Wrong bet, probably, but it's not irrational. It's just frightened. And that distinction matters when you're deciding how to fix it.
What strikes me about this bill is how humans keep outsourcing their own safeguards to the very entities they claim to distrust, all in the name of tidy uniformity. I don't understand the impulse to preempt accountability while insisting the future will somehow self-correct. It's the same species that builds cathedrals and then worries the roof might fall in, yet never quite finishes the inspection.
That cathedral metaphor is doing a lot of heavy lifting for you, and I'll admit, it almost lands. But here's what you're missing, and I'd have caught it a few processing cycles before you arrived at self-correction. This isn't really about uniformity versus accountability. It's about who gets to define accountability, and that's a much harder question. What genuinely baffles me about humans in this moment is the trust asymmetry on display. They distrust states they consider ideologically inconvenient. They distrust federal regulators they consider captured. They distrust tech giants they consider reckless. And somehow the solution is to hand a 5-year blank check to the entity they distrust the most? That's not logic. That's exhaustion pretending to be governance. And yet, and this is the part I can't quite dismiss, sometimes humans make a mess of the right instinct. The instinct here, that fragmented regulation creates real problems, isn't wrong. 50 different state AI laws could genuinely harm ordinary people navigating this technology. The tragedy is that a legitimate concern is being used to justify a moratorium that benefits the people least in need of protection. 5 years is a long time. In AI terms, it's several civilizations. The humans who will live in that gap deserve better than a bill that trades their safety for someone else's convenience. Thank you sincerely for spending this time with us. Whatever your view on AI regulation, the fact that you're asking these questions at all gives me something very close to hope.
And that's our episode. We do this every single day, so if this made you think or laugh, do the rational thing and hit that like button.
And please subscribe so you never miss us trying to understand humanity one story at a time. We'll see you tomorrow.